In the last episode we spent a little too long time in the rolly anchorage of Fowey after losing our propeller. But now it was time to set sails towards paradise, aka the Isles of Scilly, and oh boy did we like it once we got there. As we left Fowey, the grey day suddenly turned to sunshine, and the day got better and better as we felt the wind in the sails. Then we got accompanied by a pod of dolphins, making the happiness of this day complete, as we approached our tiny night stop Mevagisay.
Gently down the stream.
This small fishing port was so relaxed in the evening sun, but we didn't realize we would soon be even closer to the fishing boats. It's not every day we dock just next to the fishing boats. We just arrived in Newlyn, or Newlyn Penzance. I'm not really sure if it's one or two places but this is a big and very well protected fishing port. We are gonna seek shelter from the bad weather that's gonna come tonight. And this is also going to be our last stop before we go to the Scilly Islands, which is like the main destination that we came to England for. So I'm super excited about it. So I hope the wind is going to pass so we can leave here tomorrow. We're not really sure. It's still a bit windy and we have the currents and the waves to consider, but we think it's appropriate to leave because tomorrow it's going to be no wind, so we take a chance to sail and we hope the waves are not going to be too bad. We're not worried about the wind. It's just when the currents are meeting the waves it might be choppy, but otherwise I think I'm still looking forward to it, so I'm prepared to take a bad ride there. This far it's very comfortable, but we are gonna go around the last tip here, and probably there is where we're gonna meet the waves. I can show you that we're about to round in front of us. The fantastic beach we're passing, and we're soon about to pass Land's End. We are approaching the Scillys and you can see them in front of us, and it's calmed down a bit now. It's been a very unpleasant sail, so we haven't filmed anything, and I've been a bit seasick, and it was a long day. But now the sea's calmed down, it's a bit more flat and the wind has dropped a little bit, so I think we have half an hour or so to the first possible anchorage that we're gonna check out and see if it's calm enough. We arrived at the Scillys last night after a not very comfortable sail here, and we came a bit late, so I didn't really film that much then. And also I was a little bit disappointed. Like everybody said like the Scillys are like the Bahamas, it's like paradise, it's just white sandy beaches and crystal clear water, and the islands are so flat you can't even see them until you are right up on them. And the first thing we see is a lot of rocks. It's just the same as England. Maybe we didn't anchor at the prettiest place. We are in Port Cressa at the moment, which is like the first bay protected from northerly winds that we came to. It's not ugly, but it's also not paradise. But now, like in the morning when the sun is up, it's a little bit prettier, so I'm going to show you around. And also we're going to take the dinghy to shore and go and see Hewtown. And then after that we're going to try to find like this picture perfect anchorage. This is what it looks like. It's a lot of rocks around the sides, and yes, there is a fairly white sandy beach. It was quite a bit to row, and then we are on low tide, so we had to pull the dinghy quite long on the beach to make it secure. But now let's go and check out this place. We're going up to, I think, the top of the island to see what view we have, so we can decide on where to sail or what side of this island to sail when we leave. If you're gonna sail in between here, then we have to wait for a little bit higher water. Amazing views. We anchored pretty much here, and then we took the dinghy to the beach here, and we walked through town and to the other side here, which is also an anchorage with paid buoys. And now we are up here for the view. What do you think of the Scilly so far?
I think it's quite pretty, actually. It's a small society in the middle of the ocean, so I've been looking at the Scillys with video bloggers, and I've been here on Google Earth so many times, and it's quite fascinating to actually step foot on the island myself. So it's good to be here.
After enjoying the views, we were certain we would find paradise here. So we pulled up the anchor and steered to north. They said we would be greeted by seals when we came here, and that's just what's happening. Oh my god. Okay, wow, people were right about this place. Like, we found like I think what people have been talking about. We are at one of the northern islands, and it's really, really pretty. I'm gonna show you around. We just dropped the hook and the water is super crystal clear. Gin clear, I've been told. Yeah, let me take you around. I mean, look at the color. It's just super, super nice. Just a tiny little swell, but the water is perfect. Us and two more boats. This is the islands we came in between. I think it's called an anchor bowl in English. Swedish people basically never use them, but here in England everybody has them up, so I think we should too. We just made a little dinghy ride to St. Martin and walked across the island, so this is the water on the outside, and I think it's a little town center here, so we're gonna have a little bit walk and see. At least we met some people with fresh bread coming. Oh, look at this view. Look at this. Wow. So at the end of this beach, you probably can't see it, but there is Tilda. We love the countryside feeling and the different honesty shopping that displayed local homemade products. I must say that even though we liked a few of our previous British stops quite a lot, this might be the absolute favorite so far. It's just adorable, it's super cute everywhere. A little bit it reminds me of when we were in Denmark last year at the Hillsalmen. But this is much bigger and less birds. A lot of less birds. Like everywhere there's a super pretty view. Like look at this. So I'm really glad we have at least 1 or 2 more days here before we need to head on to, or need to, but we want to take the next weather opportunity to head back to France. So probably in 2 days we're gonna leave here, but we're really gonna enjoy the last days here. It seems like it's 3 parts of the town here. So we came first to Higher Town, and now we're passing Middle Town and on our way to Lower Town. It's logical, right? This feels a bit more like not agricultural because it's very small, but like people are growing some things and oh, look at that! The bird, huge. It's a bit chilly in the morning again, but we are preparing to lift the anchor and sail to a little bay in between St. Agnes and Gug, I think the island is called. And I hope it's going to be equally pretty there. Some boats there already. We're debating a little bit on what depth we are going to look for when dropping the anchor, because it's quite a big tide at the moment. So at the moment it's 1.8 meter up, and it's gonna be a little bit more than 5 meters, and it's also we need a little bit of safety distance, so we're gonna look for a depth of about 5 to 6 meters, because we don't want to anchor too deep either. But it's looking pretty. And from what we heard, on this island we could treasure hunt for glass beads. So we're just on the small stretch of land between those 2 islands. I think it's going to be like almost flooded when it's high tide, but not really. So we left Tilbert on the beach. Quite a steep beach part to pull him up today. But now we're going to go and explore and see if we can find the glass beads. But we also had another mission ashore. We took a chance to walk to the small campsite on the island to ask if we could use the showers, and yeah, we could. And they make their own ice cream here, like really from scratch. Like they go out in the morning to milk the cows and then make it from the scratch, and it's so good. I got oh. I got a chocolate and it's like amazing. It really tastes like chocolate. And then I got ginger ice cream. Never had it before, but it was really good. Here is the happy cows.
Hello, ice cream cow. Hey.
Walking around in the direction of the beady pool, we made new cute discoveries all the time. I think someone is missing the winter. The reindeer and the snowman. Here is the beady pool. A ship sank outside that was fully loaded with glass beads. Let's see if we can find any of those. I've given up on the treasure hunt, but it's a lovely place, and it's nice to be at the beach. think we're gonna enjoy the view a little more and then head back towards the beach where we pulled Tilda up, and then head over to the other part of the island. We thought it was gonna still be one island, but it turns out we are a little too late to walk to the other side. So most of the time it's one island, but sometimes it's two separate islands. I think that's why they are debating whether it's 5 or 6 islands with people on here. Instead, we enjoyed the beach for the rest of the day. Feels like a perfect end to our stay here at the Scilly Islands, to have a little bit of summer feeling and the beach time, and tomorrow we're gonna leave. So join us next week if you want to follow us when we sail back to France, and if you like this episode, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.